11 away from 8. Let's head on out to the Dubbo area because basically, being a sticky bick, I like to know what's going on. Matthew Dickerson, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kerry. Good to be chatting to you again. I love your sticky beakness. I love the fact that you want to know what's going on in Dubbo. Fantastic.
I think, well, what is going on in Dubbo at the moment?
Well, a range of things, actually. Some of the census information coming out is pretty interesting. So we've had a population growth in the Dubbo City, so the old Dubbo City Council area. This doesn't include the Wellington, the Amalgamated Council. We went from 40,291 up to 44,963. So that's 2.22% each year. What I find really interesting about this is we saw the Department of Planning and Environment release some figures recently that said that their expected annual population growth for Dubbo was 0.78%, so which is a long way from what it's been over the last 5 years. Not sure how they get these figures, but we'd like them to look at more at that past figures because we think that's more accurate than 0.78%. Everyone in local government scratches their head when we see these figures come out. So you've had a population growth of 2.22% for the last 5 years, year-on-year compounding, and yet they think we're going to go 0.8% going forward. So not sure how that works. But anyway, that's good population growth I think we've seen over the last 5 years, which is great to see.
Yeah, it does make it a little difficult trying to work out your figures at this stage.
Well, we make our allocations and estimations based on that population growth, and they make their estimations for the state government based on a much smaller number. So obviously we'd rather see the large number because that would mean more services are coming in. So age of people in Dubbo is about my age, approximately 36. That sounds about right, does it? So,
yep,
so
that sounds about right.
That's the median age of people in Dubbo, which is great. That's a bit lower than the state average as well. So we've got a slightly younger population in Dubbo, and the most popular age group is 25 to 29 years. Now, that's been good because traditionally in Dubbo, people have gotten to the age of 18, they've gone off to pursue education, life experience, a whole range of things, and then usually we find there's a bit of a dip in that population until about the 30s when people start saying, you know what, I don't want to raise a family in Sydney, this isn't a great place to be, let's go somewhere regional, and they pick Bathurst, Orange, Dubbo, Tamworth, various regional cities, but Dubbo obviously is a good place to come back to. Either they're not going as early now or as often, or they're coming back earlier. So the 25 to 29 year age bracket is our most popular population bracket, if you like. So that's quite good. That's interesting. Sorry, you go.
Sorry, I've got one out of left field here.
Sure.
I just noticed that you've got a partnership there with the men's shed. I'm a great believer in the men's shed. I think it's fabulous because men get together, they have a little chat, and men don't tend to do that out in the public. But at the men's shed, it gives them the opportunity to do that, doesn't it?
Absolutely right. So we've actually just signed a new 5-year lease with the men's shed in Dubbo. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know, I can't work it out. I had a meeting with the men's shed about 4 or 5 months ago when I first came back in as mayor, and I said, what's happening? How are you going with things? And they said, well, great, except how come you're going to kick us out? And I went, what? Why are we kicking you out? Apparently they've been told by the last council they were going to be given the boot. We needed the land for, something else, and so they need to go and find somewhere else to set up their men's shed. And I agree with you. I've been to men's sheds many times just to see what's happening there and say hello. And I think they do a fantastic thing because blokes don't tend to ring each other and say, hey, Kerry, let's go have a coffee. They just tend to stay away. But when they get in that men's shed environment, they do actually communicate and discuss things, and they do some useful things for the community. But more importantly, they look at mental health of each other just by being there, being together. So we said, we better get that sorted out. So we've got a new 5-year lease. They've got a guaranteed home for 5 years, and they've got some good plans for that. They want to expand that. They're getting busier. They do more and more bits and pieces around the community. So they want to make sure that they've actually got that area to continue going forward.
And a very important week for all our areas, including yours, obviously, is NAIDOC week on this week.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen this morning with the rain tumbling down, but I'm meant to be at Bob Jane T-Marts at 10 o'clock to start the march from there into the Rotunda, and then we've got a flag raising. I feel very honoured that I get to speak at NAIDOC. There's a thing I've done each time is actually been able to talk at NAIDOC, and again, I feel honoured to do that. So that's all meant to be happening this morning, but I'm not sure what the rain plans are because I'm not sure this rain's going to hold off for NAIDOC Day anyway, or NAIDOC Week, but certainly not going to hold off for these celebrations today. So we might be out there with some umbrellas, Kerry.
You'll be right. You'll be right, son. Just keep warm. Wear the galoshes and away you go.
That's right. It's only water.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, sir. Good to talk to you again, and we'll catch up. Thanks, Ed. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Kerry.
Have a good week. There we go. Matthew Dickerson, Dubbo Mayor.